Let's start with HTTP. So our first protocol in application layer is HTTP. So here's the full form: Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Now we know that in today most of the application, whether web or mobile, interact with the internet through HTTP protocol, right? And HTTP is a protocol used to access web resources. And hypertext is means that a link that contains other resources. Okay, so this is the meaning of hypertext in HTTP protocol. And HTTP runs on top of TCP protocol. Okay, so HTTP communication involves a client and a server architecture. So this we called a client server architecture. HTTP works on client server architecture. To retrieve a resource, we need a URL. So here is the example of a URL. With the help of URL, we reach to the desired website and we retrieve the file, the folder, or anything that we want using the URL. So this is called a FQDN. This is a fully qualified domain name. Okay, here's the fully qualified domain name. Hack the box in this example, and this is a URL. Now let's understand the structure of a URL. Let me zoom it. Okay. So here we have the user. This is a admin and password. This is a user. Okay. Here we have the host, the website that we want to access. Here we have a path in a particular website, in what path we want to access. And this is a query string. We talk about that, the query string. But let's look at the URL structure. So here we have the protocol that we are using. This is called a schema. And after the protocol, if there is a user login credentials, then we can provide it like this. So admin colon password at our website name, and we have to specify the port number. After the port, we have to specify the location where we want to go, and after location, we want to specify a query string, what thing we want to access it. So is that clear? Now, so here, scheme it simply means the protocol that we are using. It is used to identify the protocols. Okay. So this is a user information, admin colon password at. This is a optional in a website. Not every website use their credentials like this, and we cannot pass our credential like this. Okay. Only those websites who use HTTP based authentication, in that case only we can use this type of login mechanism. Okay. Host means our simple website. Okay, and this is a port number. So every protocol has to be their own port number. For HTTP it is 80, for HTTPS it is 443, for FTP it is 21. So every port comes with their own and default port number, that is known as a predefined port number. This is the path. Okay, the file or folder being accessed, this is a path. And the thing here we have to note here is the default page is index.html. If we want to access some website, this is the default page. But here we have defined we want to access this particular page and not default page. Here we have the query string. It starts with a question mark, and this is the query parameter. So this is a query parameter, and this is a value of that parameter separated by equals to. Okay. So this is a fragmented status used to locate a section within the resource like a specific part of a page or not. So this is a basic structure of a URL. So do you have any questions here?
Sir, one thing that after this HTTP, the component which is used user info, correct?
Hmm.
So if
Hmm.
there will be HTTPS, then this user info will not be visible.
Uh, acha, this user info, no?
Yes, admin password section.
See, in HTTPS, only the data that goes inside the body that is encrypted. And here we are transferring the data in a URL. So if you are using a HTTP or HTTPS, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anyone can see your URL, right? If I'm using facebook.com, Facebook uses HTTP and HTTPS. So let's say if I'm using facebook.com or any banking site.com, I can simply see the URL. Anyone can simply see the URL, right? So the whatever data the website transferred using the URL, that is visible to everyone.
Okay.
Any other question? Okay.
And like, what does this mean? Login is equals to true. Mm,
So this is a parameter, right? Server
mhm.
decides that the login credential is right or wrong. If it is right, it's going to be true, and it's going to be have one default page. If it is not true, it's going to be false, and it simply redirects to other pages. This thing is not required. This thing is not required. So this is a whole structure. What is important is the schema, the host, port is also not required, and the path that we are accessing. Okay, so these three are the important things that we can find easily on each and every URL. Any question? Okay, so please unmute yourself. So as I said that not every component in a URL are actually used. It depends on the structure of a web application. So let's talk about the flow of an HTTP. So this is a flow of an HTTP in a very high level. This is how HTTP transfers data. So here is the user. This is a user's browser. User simply clicks website name. The browser send this data to DNS server. It resolves the IP, and then using this IP, it identify where is the server. Once it founds the server will check the resource using the URL, and it simply return the resource. Okay, so this is how it works. So any confusion in this diagram?
Sir, I didn't get it.
Okay, this is a user. User opens a Firefox browser. In Firefox, user enter one website: http google.com, banking.com, facebook.com. Now, when user enter this website directly goes to a DNS server. In our last class, we have talked about network, right? So to identify each devices on a network, we need IP address. So the name of a website directly goes to a DNS. DNS finds the IP address for this website, and it sends the IP address for the website to the browser. The browsers send the IP address to their server. Server receive the IP address, server receive the request, server process it, and send the response to the browser. This is how it works.
Got it.
Here is the user, here is the DNS, here is the server. User enter google.com in their browser. Browser send this request to get a IP to DNS server. DNS server finds the IP xwebsite.com. The IP is, let's consider 192.148.1.2. So this is a fake IP, just for an example. So a DNS finds that okay, this website has this IP. Then DNS sends the request to this IP, and the server receives the request. Now, to send the response, server needs computer's IP address. So server don't have the computer IP address, right? So server sends their request to DNS server. Now DNS server knows, acha, who sent me the request. Again, DNS server send this request to user. This is how it works in a very high level language. But there are different things going on. But this is the actual structure in high level
Excuse me, sir.
language. Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes. Yes.
There's a two thing coming in my mind. Like first, agar if user directly
Hmm.
questioning domain name system about IP, then
Hmm.
why DNS is not interacting directly to user, and why server is involving in the whole procedure? I mean, he's giving all the requests back to the DNS, and then DNS is giving back the same request to the user. Then why server is involved in this concept? मतलब easy way में मतलब if they are
Hmm.
asking the same question directly, then why not responding directly to the user? Why involving
Okay.
server?
See, please unmute yourself. So this is a computer, right? So we, as a human, we only know the website name. We don't know the IP address of each website. Got it? Now, if we only know the name of our website, then we need a one middleman to convert this name into the actual IP, because IP is the address in internet world. Without the proper address, you cannot find the server. Now, we type google.com in our browser. This google.com directly goes to a intermediator server that is called a DNS, that finds the address for us. Let's say we are searching google.com. So DNS finds what is the IP address for google.com. It finds that okay, 192.8 is the IP address for google.com. Then DNS transfer or forward this data to the actual server. Now server receives the data. Now server wants to send the reply, but server don't know the address of our user. So in this case, what server do is server simply send this response to DNS, and DNS know who sent me this request, right? So DNS do the reverse thing. DNS know the IP of a user. So it simply send the request like this. Another example is we have phone, we have mobile phone, right? We have mobile phone. We save most of the contact numbers by their name. If we want to call someone, we don't type the number. We simply type the name, and other person will receive the call. But inside this, there is a number mapped to any other name, right? So this is a number and this is a name. So instead of remembering the number, we simply remember the name. We call the name, and inside this, the phone communication reach out through this number. This is how connection happens. This is the exact thing. This is the exact thing happens in internet. If we directly type the number, in here or here, we simply bypass the DNS thing, right? So if we know the number, we can simply connect to the server. This is the case. So that is the reason most of the website don't allow user to access their website using the IP address, because it is not safe to access the website using the IP address, right? Because we don't know what they have posted on a IP. So that's the reason.
Sir,
Any
basically, like,
question? Hmm.
yeah, one more question. Why this DNS server has been made? Because all the IPs can store in server itself. So, what is the use of making DNS server separately?
So DNS server is made to resolve the IP. Now we have thousands of websites, right? We don't know thousands of websites IP, but what we know is we know only name. If we don't have the DNS, we type the name in our browser. Now browser don't understand the name, they understand the numbers. Who will give you the numbers? So if we don't give the number, then browser cannot pass this request to the exact server, right?
Sir, sorry to interrupt. I'm asking,
Hmm.
like, what is the use of making DNS server separately if it is possible to put that IPs in server itself?
Acha, which server?
Yes, main server.
Okay, so you have to understand one thing.
Hmm.
This is a user, this is a server, right?
Yes.
This server has IP 20. Uh, this server has IP 30. This server has IP 40. I want to access a website, google.com. Here is my browser. I type this thing. Now, can a computer understand google.com?
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
So if computer don't understand google.com, then how our computer connects to the server? Because the computer don't know the exact address, right? To connect to the server, we need address. But in this case, if we simply type the address, that is the IP, that is 192.168 or anything, our browser directly connect to the server. But in this case, since we don't know the IP address of our server, of our google.com, so we need a one intermediate device that store every every IP address that we have for a website, right? And that device is called a DNS. And that is the reason why DNS we have to make the DNS. If it is possible for humans to remember the IP address for each and every website, then there is no need to create a DNS. Just because we cannot remember the domain, we cannot remember the IP address, we have to create the DNS. Now, in this case, if we enter google.com, then our operating system don't understand this thing. So he says, okay, I don't understand and I'm not able to connect your thing. But if we have a DNS server, in this case,
Yeah, hi Vikas, hello.
yeah,
I think Aditya sir is sending you request.
wait. So now in this case, we have the DNS, right? Now our browser directly send this request to DNS server saying that, hey, DNS, this is a google.com. I don't know what is it. Can you please provide me the address? Then DNS says, okay, I can provide you the address. So DNS finds what is the address behind the google.com. It finds that, okay, here's the address that is 192.8. So it finds the address, right? Now browser got the address. Now then browser simply connect to the server. This is how it works. Okay. And at the server end, server don't know the device IP address, right? So how can he connect it? So for that, server asks DNS, hey DNS, I don't know the computer A. Do you have the IP address for computer A? Then DNS says, okay, we have the computer A IP address. Here it is. Then only server connects to the computer A. Okay. So this is the reason why we need a DNS. Is that clear?
Yeah, clear.
Yes.
It is like that ki the person who is searching the computer,
Hmm.
uh, the like google.com. So
Hmm.
DNS providing google.com the customer's IP address, and
Hmm.
वो DNS कस्टमर को गूगल की आईपी एड्रेस दे रहा है, मतलब इनडायरेक्टली,
Hmm.
और गूगल को कस्टमर की, ताकि वो दोनों आपस में इंटरकनेक्ट कर पाए.
Hmm. And if
और ये
we know,
DNS जो है सर वो डोमेन नेम को रिसोल्व करके आईपी एड्रेस में कन्वर्ट करके मेन सर्वर को देता है, वहां से डेटा फेच करके वो ब्राउजर को सेंड करता है, ठीक ना?
yes,
Okay.
so in this case, if we know the IP address, right, then we cannot, then we don't have to use the DNS server. If we simply type IP address in our browser instead of Google, our web browser directly connects to the server bypassing the DNS. So this is how it works because our browser directly knows the address. If he don't know the address, then only he communicate to the DNS server or ISP, that is the internet service provider. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So this is how internet HTTP works on a very high level, like very high level way. So here, request is let me change the color. Request is sent to a DNS server to get an IP address. The DNS server looks for the IP address for this website and return it. Okay, and once our browser got the IP, then the connection is going to start. Now here the important thing to note is browser typically first check the local host file for IP address. If the domain is not found there, then they contact the DNS server. Okay, and we can manually add the IP address in our etc file. So is that clear? Any question, any confusion here? Hello, am I audible?
No, no, no.
Clear, sir.
All clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, once the browser get the IP address for the domain, it sends GET request to the default port. So as we know, every protocol has their own default port, right? So let's say I type http google.com. So what is the default port for http? It is 80, right? So it is our browser is directly going to send our request to http using this port number. And if we don't specify our path, then our browser directly sends our request to root path. That is the slash google.com slash. Okay, whenever we open a website, it end up slash, right? xyz.com slash. After slash, we have to provide our path. But if we don't have the path, then this is the root path. This is the actual main path where our website is. Now, by default, the server is configured to return a index file. If we ask slash, that is the root part. Okay. Sometimes browser is sometimes the server is configured to return a different type of file. If it is a index.php, index.html, login.php, right? So this happens, right? When we click on a website, it directly redirect to login.php, index.php, like that. Okay. We have observed this thing, right?
सर
Hmm.
हमारा जो रिक्वेस्ट डेट में जा रहा है और वहाँ पे प्रोटोकॉल हमारा 80 हो रहा है,
Hmm.
क्या हमारा पोस्ट में रिक्वेस्ट जाता है तो सेम पोर्ट रहता है 80 या चेंज हो जाता है?
No, it is the same. The port is same. Okay, everything is same. The port is same, and the website configuration is also same. If we change the port, it simply means that we cannot connect to the that website because that website is not using that port. Okay, now anyone wants to ask any question? Now the server receives the request and sends an HTTP response. The response contains a 200 OK, indicating that OK, server successfully received and processed this request, what user asked for. Okay, so this is a basic thing in HTTP, where we have talked the HTTP, where we have talked the URL. This is the important thing, and how the HTTP flow works, right? Do you have any question here? Anyone?
No.
Anyone? Any question?
No, no, sir, no, sir. All clear.
Jha and Anubhav, any question?
No, sir. All good.
Okay. Now, this is the case for a HTTP. Let's talk about HTTPS. Now, in HTTPS, there is one extra thing, that is the secure, right? So let's understand what does it means and why do we need HTTPS. So HTTP transfer data in clear text, making it vulnerable to intercepting by attackers. It simply means that uh, this is my browser, this is a server, and this is the internet. I am sitting here. I can simply and easily monitor whatever data is going through the internet. So this is a data, this is going through the internet. I can simply monitor it, right? And I can change the data. Let's say user sends google.com. The google.com comes here. This is the internet part. I am standing here. I can simply change google.com to xyz.com. And then DNS finds the IP address for xyz.com, and the browser directly connects to the xyz.com and show the response for xyz.com to the end user. And end user got shocked. I even don't ask for this website, but why I'm getting this website, right? So this is how it works. So this is the vulnerability, or you can say this is the concern in HTTP protocol. To safeguard this, we came with a upgraded version of HTTP, that is the secure version called HTTPS. So S stands for secure, okay? And to provide a security, it used SSL, that is a secure socket layer, or TLS. Okay?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
जो डायग्राम था, यस, हाँ सर, इन दिस डायग्राम जो आपने बताया कि कनेक्शन के बारे में, सो जो अटैक, जो वल्नरेबिलिटी है इसके अंदर, सो व्हाट काइंड ऑफ अटैक इज दिस सम काइंड ऑफ अटैक, और व्हाट दैट इज मैन इन
Yeah.
मिडल who changes this all thing?
So that is the, yeah, please unmute yourself. Yeah. So that is the man in the middle attack, right? So attackers standing in between two connections, they can change the data, they can monitor the data, they can alter the data, right? And if attacker is able to do this, then we affect the CIA triad. Now you tell me, in CIA triad, if the data is changed, what triad is affected?
So integrity.
Yeah, it is integrity. So our website promise user that we assure you whatever you're going to send throughout the internet, it is our responsibility. If you send A, then we receive A. This is our promise. If you send A and we receive B, that in simple case it is a breach, right? So it simply affect the integrity, and this is a data manipulation. Let's say in this website I'm purchasing a dress, and that dress cost me $120. I send $120 and I use a proxy, I intercept this data, I change $120 to $1. If server receive this information and process that, okay, I'm going to provide you this in $1, then this is also a data manipulation. Okay, this is not man in the middle attack. This is also a data manipulation because we are doing this thing, right? So in this case, we are the attacker, we are using a website, we are doing this. So this is a data manipulation, and in that case, we affect the integrity also. Got it?
Yes, sir. One more thing, sir. Why is CIA? Why not AAA? This also work the same, no?
Yeah, both are the same. See, CIA AAA means what? Accountability, availability, and there is one word. What is that?
Sir, authentication, authorization, and accountability.
Authorization.
Yes, sir. Authentication
Hmm.
and
Okay.
accountability.
Now, CIAAA simply means that if there is a law, if there is a failure to log in, right? Our server and the owner of that website promise us that, okay, if you are going to log in with your credential, we promise you that no one can log in with your credential. And if other person can log in with my credential, then this is the attack, right? In this case, what we are breaking the authenticity, accountability, and account. Wait. In this case, we are breaking the authenticity, accountability, and confidentiality, right? Why? Because anyone can log in with anyone's account, but in this case, we don't have login, right? So that is why we are saying that accountability. If we have the login, then authorization, this thing also comes, and that is how it makes a CIA triple triad. Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. So, do you have any doubt, anyone?
No.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now we have seen that what's the need of HTTPS? Because HTTP, we can anyone can intercept our network and they can see whatever we are saying or whatever we are sending, whatever we are transmitting, and even they can change it, right? Now the most thing here is soon most of the web browsers will not allow visiting HTTP website, right? So this thing you have to remember. Yesterday someone is asking me if we have the HTTPS, then why we are using HTTP. I don't know who is asking me, but someone is asking me yesterday. So do you know the answer of this?
Because of accountability.
ये
But
क्वेश्चन मैंने पुट अप किया था कल आपसे
sorry.
ये क्वेश्चन मैंने पुट अप किया था आपसे
Okay. So do you know why we use HTTP now?
No, sir.
Okay, so see, HTTP is now widely used, but there are some other websites also. They use HTTP, but in future, soon, now the updated browser is going to not allow the HTTP connection. They only allow HTTPS connection. So, is there any reason for that? Why they are not allowing HTTP connection? We know, but why today's website using HTTP? Why they are not using HTTPS? Yeah, anyone wants to answer, please? I'm going to give you 1 minute. You discuss with each other and provide me the answer. Okay, then we'll talk about this.
हेलो हेलो
हाँ दीदी कैसे आप?
क्या पूछा है इन्होंने कि एच टी पी एस क्यों यूज करते हैं वेबसाइट में कि एच टी पी क्यों नहीं होता, ये पूछा है।
मैंने मालूम किया था कि जब HTTPS सिक्योर है तो अभी भी रिसेंटली में HTTP क्यों यूज कर रही है कंपनी? बहुत सारी कंपनी ऐसी है जो HTTP यूज कर रही है HTTPS, जबकि उनको मालूम है कि वो सिक्योर है, डेटा को स्टील होने दे रही है या हार्मफुल होने में
इंटरनल नेटवर्क पे एच टी पी यूज होता है।
भाई एक्सटर्नल पे भी हो रहा है, बहुत सारी गवर्नमेंट वेबसाइट अभी भी एचटीटीपी पे यूज हो रही है।
तो
Okay, now
भाई
let's.
वो अपनी सिक्योरिटी लगा के चल रहे हैं ना भाई।
Okay, please, students, unmute yourself. Now let's discuss why most of the websites still use HTTP and not HTTPS. The reason is quite simple. Let's say this is my website. Inside this, I have a main website and I have used HTTPS in that. That website is super secure. Now I want to develop one more website. Before I develop that one more website, I want to test it, right? So this is my next website. This is my other website hosted on the same server. So I cannot use HTTPS here. Why? Because I have to purchase the SSL certificate. SSL certificate I have to purchase. I have to pay the money. I have to submit my SSL logs. This SSL logs directly go to the CA authority. Please unmute yourself. So this SSL logs is going to submit the CA authority. Then CA authority is directly going to submit the one copy to a certificate log. And after all this process, once it is done and dusted, then the end user will get the SSL certificate, right? And that is how our encryption decryption handles. So I have to pay the extra money to get the HTTPS website, right? And if I'm just testing my website, then there is no need to purchase a SSL, right? Because the website is just for testing. So this is one reason, and that is why most of the production website don't have HTTPS. They only have HTTP. And the other reason is uh, in 2000, in 2000 and 1980s, 1990s, most of the websites are static, right? And they don't have to afraid of. Most of the website used to be a blog website, and that's the reason they are using HTTP. Nowadays, most of the websites are not simply a blog website. They have more functionality. They have the login functionality. They store our credit card information. They store our banking information. They store our personal information, photos, right? So to safeguard this data, we need something else to secure from the attackers, and that is why we are using SSL, and that is the reason why we came up with the HTTPS version. If the website is don't advance like this, then we don't need the SSL certificate. We can simply use our website with the HTTP connection. So is that clear? Yeah. Any doubt here?
So, which means simply if it's not about confidentiality, then it's okay to use HTTP in simple form.
Yes. Let's say I have a Wikipedia, right? Wikipedia is just a static page. The information is public. You don't have to log in Wikipedia. Everyone can access Wikipedia. Then why would I use HTTPS? There is no data loss, right? So that is the reason. But if there is a personal information, let's say Wikipedia start collecting users credit card information, then Wikipedia is forced to use SSL certificate because they hold the confidential data, right? And they cannot lose this confidential data. Anyone, any question?
No.
But sir, it is still not that much stronger. I mean, some of the people still use VPN to make a strong path, secure path, or is it more stronger compared to the VPN? I just read somewhere that HTTPS is also not that much strong, so VPN is used in some of the
Yes.
communications.
So we have some attacks in HTTPS. Okay, we can perform some attacks. So there is a beast attack. We can exploit that attack. We can even change the certificate to our certificate. If there is a HTTPS, we can simply downgrade it to lower version of HTTP or HTTPS that is hackable. So this is the problem that we have. That is why Google came up with HSTL and TLS. And that is the reason why we have TLS version 1, 2, 3, and so on. So if the attack is increasing, the technology is also increasing. And those who use a VPN to access the website, that is the private thing. They don't use internet. They use VPN in their internal network. So this is the thing. When we talk about servers, there we have learned what is the use of VPN, why do we use VPN, what is the internet facing server, external facing server. So VPN comes in that point. Any question?
No, sir.
Okay. Now let's look. This is a image I captured using Wireshark. Okay, so this is a network. This is a HTTP login request. So here you can see key is username, right? What is the username here? Admin. What is the password here? This one, right? So anyone can monitor, inspect our network traffic, and they can see our data. So this is how in a network level, everyone can see our data. So this is our IP. Here is our IP. This is the connection we are using, right? And we are logging to this page. Okay. Wait. This is our IP. This is website's IP. This is website's protocol. This is the path that we are accessing. In this path, we have provided this data, and we are using HTTP, right? So that anyone can monitor the data, and they can even change it. They can even delete this data, this packet from the network. Okay, so this is how it works. Any question here?
Sir, is possible to delete the data like
Yeah, it is
password, admin
possible.
name?
हेलो,
Yes,
वो HSTL था या HSTS था?
HSTL.
HSTL
Hmm.
यानी कि क्या मीन्स है उसका HSTL का?
It is the upgraded version of TLS and SSL.
Nowadays.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is an overview of logging request captured using the HTTP. Now here we can simply say our data is transmitted through the clear text. I can simply send this packet blank. I can simply erase the password. I can simply change the password and whatnot. Now here we have the HTTP request. If we closely look, this is the same. I have to change the. If we closely look, this is the same computer, same IP, same website. Here we are using TLS version 1.2. And if we try to see our data, it says that encrypted application. So this is our data. No one can decrypt this data. So this is our data that is encrypted. Even we don't understand this data. The number is totally random. Okay, so this is how it works. This is a single encrypted stream. It simply means that this is a single encrypted data. Any question here?
Like what is single encrypted data?
So in network, okay,
I understand this encrypted data, but what is like exactly single term which is used here?
let's say this is the user, this is a server. Now, user wants to download a file from a server, right? So the file size is 1 GB. So instead of sending 1 GB file directly to the user, what server says is server divide this 1 GB file into 100 MB. So this is a packet, right? So this is a 100 MB packet. So 100 packet goes here, user receive it, then other 100 packet comes here, user receive it. So this is called a single stream packet. So inside this packet we have 100 MB of data, right? So these all data are encrypted. So this is what exactly happened when users send login information. So one single stream data, this is a username password data, this is a other information, this is a other information, these all data are going to be encrypted. This is what a simple stream, single stream means. Any doubt here? Hello.
Clear, sir.
Okay. And if you are wondering why we need to send the packet in simple and single chunks, why cannot we send 1 GB data directly? So let me tell you, there is a concept in networking called MTU. So that is the maximum transfer unit. So every network has their maximum transfer unit, and we cannot access, we cannot cross that unit. If we cross that unit, then our connection will be break. So that is why, this is the reason why we have to divide the data and we have to send it. You can do your own research on MTU. Okay. Yeah. So here the single stream data is encrypted. Now we know how to identify SSL website and non-SSL website, right? So the most basic thing is, if you go in a website, if you see the lock icon, then it simply means that the website is using HTTP SSL TLS. Now here one thing is to note. Uh, Even though, let me change the color. Even though the data is transferred through HTTP is protocol is encrypted, the DNS query is not encrypted. Okay, you have to understand this. The data that you are sending, it is encrypted using the HTTPS protocol, but the website that you are accessing, that you request, it is not encrypted, right? So to encrypt this request, you need to use encrypted DNS servers. So we have servers like this. This is the Google server. That is the 888. I have to write it here. Oh, okay. So this is a Google encrypted server. We can simply say private DNS, secure DNS, right? So 888 or 111. This is the Cloudflare DNS server. Or we can simply use a VPN. So here is a little bit concept of a secure encrypted DNS server. Why we use, so encrypted DNS server, we use two protocols, that is a DOH, DNS over HTTP, and DNS over TLS. So we have to set up a secure encrypted DNS in our server. So Google provide both DOH and DOT DNS server in this IP. Cloudflare provide a DOH, DOT in this IP. So we can use it. We can configure our DNS, how to route. We can use a VPN also in internal network to redirect every connection using a private IP, so that don't uh, it don't reveal the website that you are visiting. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any question here? Any question? Any confusion? Okay. So here we have some misconception. Let's clear some misconception. When we are using HTTPS, we have to understand the data is only going to be encrypted. The website that you access is not going to be encrypted. Okay. And the IP is also not going to be encrypted. Once the user connected to the server in this area, what website did you access, that is totally visible. Once the server and client connected, then the encryption happens. Okay. Any question here?
But just out of curiosity,
Hmm.
like if VPN are available, so why we are using HTTPS? Because I think VPN are more safe and secure.
Yeah. Uh, if we use a VPN, let me explain you like this way. Uh, this is the server, right? Let's consider this is a server. Here it's a user. Here is other server. Now user is A, server is S. User wants to access a website called google.com. User has to send their request to the VPN server. VPN server then send this request to server. Again, server send this request to VPN. VPN send this request to server. But if we don't have the VPN, they can directly communicate to each other like this, right? So the connection is slow if we use VPN. Why? Because the connection is going to be redirected from the VPN, right? That's why most people don't use VPN, and that is the reason whenever we are using VPN, the connection is very slow. If you are downloading a file without a VPN and the download speed of 50 Mbps, if you use a VPN, the download speed would be 5 or 6 Mbps. So you can imagine how slow the VPN is. So that is the reason why most of the people don't use a VPN on the internet. They use VPN in their internal network or their private network.
Got it, sir.
Okay. Any question here?
No.
Anyone? We can configure secure DNS in our Linux, right? We just have to edit the etc resolve config file and we can do it. So this is an example. This is a name server. This is also a name server. They both are the different name server from Google. This is how we can edit this thing in the Windows server. Yeah, let's come to our topic. Here we have the HTTPS flow. This is how HTTPS works. Okay, so far we have talked about the HTTP flow. Now this is a HTTPS flow. Again, we have the user enter one website in Firefox. Now this time, wait, okay. This time user use http xyz.com. Now let's understand what happened. This is how connection is going to the network. First, user sends http, I want to access this website, this is the port. Server receive it, then server says okay. Here we are using https, so I'm going to redirect you from http to https. Then our client says okay, I'm going to redirect it, and then the connection is going to happen. Server says hello. Then here is the key exchange. We have the SSL key exchange. Okay, we called it Diffie-Hellman key exchange or PKI. That is a public key exchange algorithm. So that algorithm happens here. Once the algorithm is completed, handshake is completed, then they both are connected into a secret secure network that is encrypted. Any question here?
No.
Okay, so this is how HTTPS works. You have realized, you might have realized that some website redirect HTTP to HTTPS websites, right? This is how they redirect, and this is why we are getting a 301 move permanently request response header. Now this is just a Diffie-Hellman exchange over here. Now, as I earlier said, we can downgrade the HTTP. We can downgrade HTTPS connection to HTTP, and we can perform our attack. Okay, but this vulnerability is only affect some version of TLS and SSL, and that is the reason why we provide a weak encryption in our bug report, right? Anyone? They know why do we report a weak encryption? TLS version 1.0 used, TLS version 1.1 used. Do you know?
Sir,
Am I audible?
basically, like, yeah, basically it is because of this man in the middle attack.
No, it is not basically of the man in the middle attack. It is basically of this downgradation
Insecure
of
communication.
HTTP. Huh. So there are some vulnerable SSL HTTPS connection. So we can simply downgrade the things. If I got a time, I'll show you how we can downgrade an HTTP connection, HTTPS connection to HTTP, and show you the attack. Okay, but only if I get some time. So curl for HTTP. How do you know how many people Wait, huh? Uh, plus is okay, plus is not okay. Yeah. So sorry for the inconvenience. So do you know curl? What is curl? Anyone?
Curl basically encrypts the data.
No, it doesn't encrypt the data. No one can encrypt the data. Like we do encrypt the data, but curl doesn't work like that. What is curl? Anyone? Any idea?
It can exchange the data between client and server with terminal.
Okay. So we can simply say curl is a browser for a terminal. Okay. This is a command line tool we use to access website. Okay, and there is a difference. There is advantages why do we use curl and why we should have to use curl. So by default, curl is designed to handle only HTTPS communication. If we send if we send HTTP communication, curl is not able to handle it. Right. If curl is not able to handle the HTTP request, then how would you send it? Anyone will answer me? Anyone?
सर क्वेश्चन क्वेश्चन दोबारा बोलना.
Huh. Curl, okay. The tool called curl is designed to handle the HTTP communication securely. It automatically performs secure handshake encryption, right? So using curl, we can only visit the HTTPS website. But I want to visit a HTTP website using curl. How can I visit it?
सर वो डिग्रेड वाला जो आपने बताया था.
No, that's the attack. Here we are not talking about the attack. So in this case, we can simply use some flags, some options we have in curl. So to visit HTTP website, we can simply use key flag. Okay. So key flag is used to tell the curl that okay, I want to access the HTTP website forcefully. If we don't use key flag, then the curl is not going to perform the connection. It simply says okay, I cannot perform this connection because I'm only able to handle the HTTPS connection. That's the reason. Okay. Here's the command. So you simply have to type curl k and your websites. Okay. So do I have to show an example here?
escape flag से हम HTTP भी यूज कर सकते
Sorry.
हैं. escape flag से आप यूज कर कमांड देकर HTTP यूज ले सकते हैं.
Actually, your voice is not clear.
मैं ये कह रहा हूँ ये जो कर्ल के बाद हाइफन के लगाया ये तो कमांड कमांड है ना सर.
Yes, that is a command. That is a flag.
यूजिंग
That's the
फॉर
option.
HTTP.
No, it is only
For
used
HTTP.
for
हाँ HTTP
HTTP.
से.
Hmm. So I'm going to show you an example. Let's say I want to access a website. I can simply access it, right? So this is a website. I have accessed the website. Now let's try with HTTP. It simply redirect my HTTP request to HTTPS, and that is the reason why I'm able to see my website here. But let's say that there are some websites, right? I'm a developer. I have created a website. I want to check that website, but I cannot check that website using curl, because curl says if you want to access the website using curl, the website should be used HTTPS. If the website is not using HTTPS, I'm not able to handle the request. So in that case, what I can do is I can simply say curl hyphen k and the name of a website. In this case, let's open. So this is a website, right? So here we can say, we can simply say that okay, 200, okay, that means our curl handles this request. And here we have some data, okay, so we can simply ignore it. Uh, we can simply check how the connection is happening. So this is how the connection is happening. Okay. Got it? Any question here?
This
Here's the
is
website.
यानी कि curl is used for information gathering.
Yeah, we can use, see, curl is a tool. Curl is a command line a browser, you can say. We can use curl in a different way. Developer use curl to debug their website, to check the connection. We use curl to gather the information and to manipulate the data, right, to do some sort of things. In our intermediate class, we'll see how we can use curl to manipulate the data, to change the data, to do some sort of thing. Okay, we
Okay.
don't need proxies to manipulate the data. We don't need proxies to change the host header. We don't need proxies to change the headers. Let's say the uh, website is simply sending get request, right? So if I want to change the get request to post request, I need proxies. I have to intercept the request, then I have to go in request form. I have to change from get to post. But I can do it with the help of curl. Okay.
Okay.
I hope this will work. Yeah. So this is a post request. This is a get request. This is how we can
Okay.
work with curl. So do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. Anyone? Any doubt?
No, sir.
No.
Acha, I've got a message. Hello. Anyone? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. How do you find today's class?
एक और क्वेश्चन है सर.
Yes.
अभी आपने TLS और HSTL के बारे में बात करी थी.
Mm-hmm.
तो मैं HSTL मैंने न्यू सुना है, तो इसका कुछ लिंक वगैरह मुझे शेयर कर देना.
Okay. Okay, मैं आपको I'll actually share some link. So beside this, do you have any question? Anyone?
सर
No,
Yes.
sir.
No, sir.
No.
तो अभी
So
कल वाला जो था उसको हम कह सकते हैं।
आपकी वॉइस नहीं आ रही है. What did you say?
सर आपने जो ये कल वाला टूल बताया है कार्ल,
Hmm.
तो उसको हम प्रॉक्सी उसमें भी
Uh,
इंफॉर्मेशन हम मैनिपुलेट कर पा रहे हैं, आप जैसे बता रहे थे।
yes. So we can use curl, and in this course we'll see how we can use curl, how we can change the request, and how we can manipulate the data and things like that. If there is a client side validation, how can we simply bypass the validation? So things like that we'll talk about.
ओके सर।
Any other doubt?
नो
Okay, so how was the class?
वेरी गुड।
Nice, sir. Informative.
What is the new thing that you have learned in today's class?
Sir, this HSTL
Okay.
and sir, this upgraded version of TLS 1.1. This
Mhm.
So for me, all of the topics.
Okay.
is the most important thing. Is how this browser connects with the server.
Okay.
SSL certificate as well. That how exactly it works.
Mhm. And Sachin, Altamas, Pradhan, Adarsh, Aditya, what is the new thing that you have learned in today's class?
For me, HSTLs and using of curl command
HTL
as a
sir,
proxy.
only for HSTL. Oh, HSTL.
Okay.
Yes,
और जो है
we have learned
कार्ल
today
एंड
like flow of
ऑटोमेशन।
HTTP. Hello,
Hmm.
hello.
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. So we have learned in today's class that the flow of the HTTP that was new for me, and the curl for HTTP, both of them.
Hmm.
Yes.
Okay, that is the. Hmm. Yes, Adarsh.
फॉर मी मेरे लिए तो यही था कि सर क्यों वेबसाइट सम वेबसाइट क्यों एच यूज़ कर रही है और क्यों एच यूज कर रही है, ये मेरे लिए न्यू
Mhm.
कॉन्सेप्ट था और ये क्वेश्चन काफ़ी टाइम से था मेरे मन में, तो क्लियर
Mhm.
हुआ, तो थैंक यू सर।
Thank you. And Sachin?
For me, HSTL is new and curl command used as a proxy.
It is HSTS, huh?
HSTS.
Okay, so uh, once we know the basic, right, we gradually move and we'll see how actually web security work in the field of bug bounty, right? Actually, I'm previously I used to do the bug bounty, so I know some techniques that the most of the hackers from HackerOne, Bugcrowd, they used to use these techniques, right? So I personally use curl for my bug finding. I personally play with logics. I rarely use proxies because I don't need to use the proxy. If I want to do something, then only I use proxy. Otherwise, I'm okay with the curl. And yeah, curl is a most important thing. Okay, let's say you want to exploit using known vulnerabilities, right? You can exploit it using the curl. Okay, you just have to make a script. You can do some sort of thing with curl. You can merge curl command to other things and you can work with it. Okay, so curl is the best thing to know. So please try to do some research on your own curl. In this course I'm only going to show you the commands that I personally used, but curl is a very big tool. You have to find it, right? We can find sensitive data, sensitive information using the curl. So let's wrap up the class here, and please try to create your own notes. Okay, and today homework is you have to find out how do we set up secure DNS and how does the secure DNS works. Okay, so I'm going to divide the team. So Jyoti, Adarsh and Anubhav, they are from one team, and Sachin, Pradhan, Altamas and Aditya, they are from the one team, right? So we have the two teams. So team A is Jyoti team and team B is Sachin team. Okay, so team A is going to lead by Jyoti, team B is going to lead by Pradhan. Okay, so please write down the homework.
Yeah, pardon, please. Hello.
Yes.
Uh,
So please write down the homework. So Pradhan team, you have to do the research how the secure DNS works, and Jyoti's team, you have to find out how we can set up secure DNS. Okay, so this is the homework for both of the team. Please do it your own research, and we'll discuss this thing in tomorrow's class. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So thank
Okay.
you, students.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you, sir.